Ready for a quiz? Let's find out exactly how high vibe you are in this video. I'm going to ask you a series of questions, and you're going to keep score of how well you did. And how well you do determines how high vibe you are and what you still need to work on in order to get to the place that you probably really want to get to. The first question is, do you love yourself unconditionally? And when I'm working with people, I ask this question quite frequently. And in many cases, they'll say, oh yeah, they definitely love themselves unconditionally. The problem here is that at a subconscious level, they don't. The right brain, the emotional side, doesn't for some reason. And most likely it's because of some sort of childhood influence, either a teacher or a parent or a sibling or all the above have caused people to believe at a deep level that they can't love themselves unconditionally. And many times this comes from a feeling that you need to be perfect in order to finally love yourself. Because when you look at finding a romantic partner, that process might involve, is this person good at this and good at that? And are they compatible with me? And are they this way and this way? Are they trustworthy? Are they lovable? Are they, all these conditions that you might have. In that case, you won't accept one romantic partner because they don't check off enough boxes. Well, if you look at yourself in the same way, then you're never going to get there because you'll never find this perfection that you're searching for. You'll never be able to check off all the boxes. So unconditionally is a beautiful word because it means without conditions. So there are no check marks. And another way to say it is, I love myself anyway. So if you believe that you love yourself unconditionally, you get yourself a point. However, if you know that at a deep subconscious level that you love yourself unconditionally, then that's 2 points. And there's really no way to discover that unless you work with someone to find out what your subconscious truly believes. So if you'd like, just go ahead right now and say out loud, I love myself unconditionally, and feel how that feels. Does it feel amazing? Does it feel right? Does it feel true to your soul? Or is it, I kind of do, but, and then you know that you don't actually do. All right, let's go on to the next one, which is still in the same vein. Do you love all unconditionally? Do you love all the things in this universe? Do you love the trees and the stars and the planets and the sun? Sure, you can probably say, yes, I love all those things. Do you love the people in your life, your parents and your siblings and your family in general, your friends, the people that you have chosen to be in your life? You'll probably say, yes, I love them all unconditionally as well. But now, here's the tough part. What about the people that have wronged you in the past? Do you love them unconditionally? What about the evil CEOs or the people in charge of whatever government affiliation that you believe has power or control over the world or your region? If you can say, yes, I love them all unconditionally because they are all perfect, that this whole thing is a divine plan, and I love it unconditionally exactly as it is. Sure, it'd be nice if it weren't this way or it weren't that way, or there were people that were not suffering, or there was no oppression, or whatever it is that you wish would be better about this world. But you still can love all the individuals unconditionally, mostly because you know that we're all one, that we are the same, we are the creator, we are source. In that place, in that way, you can love all that exists because it's all part of the divine plan. So if you said yes, that you love all unconditionally, no matter who they are, no matter what they do to you, maybe not in that moment, of course you're going to feel anger or whatever it is, but stepping back, you can truly love them unconditionally. Then you get another point. Do you find yourself complaining frequently? Do you call people up and complain to your friends or to your family that, this and all that and all these things, and man, I wish this world were different, or I wish my life was different, or I wish things had gone a different way, or I wish I wasn't in this situation at work, or with negative entity attachments, or whatever it might be? If you are complaining, you are not in a high vibe place because you are not accepting everything as it is. You're not accepting everything as a possibility for you to grow and to challenge yourself and to have an incredible life because of those challenges. If you see that things are wrong or incorrect, then you are not at a high vibe place. Because again, going back to that divine perspective, everything that happens to you is a scheduled event. It's all perfectly aligned with creating who you are and who you are going to be. When you can say that, then you get another point because your vibration is quite high. Number 4, the victim mindset is very similar. If you have a victim mindset where you say the situation that I am in my life is because of this person, is because of that situation, because of something else outside of me. The world is out to get me. Oh my gosh, I cannot do anything right or get anything right, or nothing falls my way. This is the victim mindset. The world is my enemy. All the people are my enemies. Why won't this change? Why can't I get over this? I haven't been equipped with the right characteristics in order to handle all these different things that are happening to me. Geez, what a terrible situation. I never want to come back here. I never want to be a human again. I want off of this planet. I want it to all be over because this is not set up for me to succeed. If you are in this sort of state, and you are in belief that things are out to get you, or that you aren't in the right place and that you never want to come back, then you're not at the high vibe place that you want to be. This is one of the more challenging aspects of this life, because it's very easy to look at everything and say, hey, it's out to get me, or I have no place here, or nobody treats me fairly, or any of that sort of thing. But again, it all goes back to believing that, hey, all of these challenges have been presented to me for me to overcome and for me to thrive even in those very difficult situations. So my life is going to be better because of these challenges. Do you have to protect yourself with an energy bubble before you go out? There are many reasons for this. In many cases, it is because you're afraid of negative entities or evil spirits or evil people's intentions on you. So you have to put this energy bubble of protection. Maybe you've been taught to do this through another practitioner, a light worker, or someone else that says that you have to protect your own energy. This is actually a fear-based action, and I believe that it prevents you from having the experiences that you need to have in this world in order to grow and expand in the ways that you actually came here to do. So to say that I have to put this bubble of protection around me to protect myself from other people's energy or from negative entities, then you're not in a high vibe place. A high vibe position is to say, I go around and I know that I am powerful and that nothing is going to affect me unless I need it to affect me in order to give me a better life or in order to give me a challenge that I can overcome. Here's another one. Are you afraid of going out in public because you are an empath and you're going to pull in all of these energies from other people? This is very similar to the one I just asked you about putting a bubble of protection around yourself. But in this case, we're talking about very specifically your empath nature and your ability to pull other people's emotions. I know there are many people who don't want to live in big cities because the emotional onslaught of other people's that they're pulling in is too much for them to handle. Well, that is not actually a high vibe place. A high vibe place is to say that I'm here to experience emotions, and I'm here to experience those emotions because they're inaccessible to me when I am my higher self, when I am my soul self, or when I am the creator. I have to actually incarnate here as a 3D being in order to feel emotions in the first place. Well, in that case, why wouldn't you just go ahead and open yourself up to all the emotions so that you can experience every possible one? So to say that you don't want to go out into public because you don't want that onslaught is to deny what you came here to experience. And there's another way to look at this. Maybe you go out into public and you say, hey, I am a superhero, and as an empath superhero, I'm absorbing other people's emotions for a reason. Maybe I'm absorbing them so that I can remove them and send them off in another direction. Maybe I'm out so that I can transmute them into some other vibrational experience for these individuals. If you look at yourself as a superhero who is there to help, as opposed to a victim who is there to absorb and to suffer, then that changes everything. So if you can say that, hey, I love being an empath and I love going out into public and I love transmuting other people's energy, then your vibration is very high. But if you're saying, no, keep me away from all of that, I can't handle it, then you're at a lower vibrational frequency. Do you have negative entity attachments? They attach themselves to a low frequency. So if you have negative entity attachments, then you are most likely at a low frequency because that's what they're attracted to. So the best way to remove negative entity attachments is to raise that vibrational frequency, which is what I teach people how to do. Do you see challenges as something exciting that you can't wait to dive into? Or do you see challenges as, oh man, more challenges. I just want to break. Can't I have an easier life? Can't I have a little bit easier time? Why do I always have to have all of these difficult challenges? My car breaks down and I lose my job, or I don't get along with this person, or this person doesn't seem to like me. Again, very similar to the victim mindset, but this is very specifically, can you get excited about challenges? Do you recognize that challenges bring you greatness? If you say yes to this, then a point to you. If you say no, then no points. Do you believe that after all the work that you've done on self-healing, on removing your childhood traumas, and removing the other issues that you've had throughout your life, that you finally should be at a point where you say, okay, I've done all the work, life should be better now? But it's not, and you're not quite there yet, and you say to yourself, no, I don't want to keep doing this healing work. I don't want to keep diving into all this stuff. I'm sick of it. It makes me miserable. It makes me sad, and I'm tired of it. I don't want to have to do it. Obviously, you can see where I'm going with this. If you believe that you're never a finished product and that you can always resolve more traumas and more childhood issues and more blockages and all of these things, then you are at a high vibe place because you say, hey, I recognize that I'm not a finished product. I recognize that I could heal my entire life and not get it all. And that's okay. That's another reason that I'm here, to have these experiences. So I hear it a lot. I've done all this work. I've done all this healing work. Why do I have to do more? Well, obviously, if you're complaining about having to do more, then you haven't done enough. Do you find that eventually you get so frustrated in certain situations that you lash out at people? You have to send them a nasty email. You have to call them up and call them out on what they've done to you or whatever. Do you find yourself burning bridges and destroying relationships because your emotions get out of hand? Well, obviously, you're not as high vibrational as you want to be. In these situations, of course, it's okay to actually have that anger and that frustration. That's a part of being a human. But it's all about handling those emotions in a way that doesn't cause destruction. To be able to sit down and work it out, exercise or write in a journal, to do something to release that anger and frustration so that you don't use it to damage your life. Now, of course, we can also say that every time you do something like that, where you burn a bridge or you do something to upset someone close to you, that was all supposed to happen. That was all a scheduled event. That's okay. But moving forward, can you make a change so that you can release those things in a healthy way rather than in a destructive way? That is a high vibrational approach to life. Here's another one. Do you feel like everyone else is better than you at whatever it is that you want to do? Do you feel like that you just aren't good enough and you can't get there, and no matter what you do, you just can't seem to get traction on what you want to get traction on? If you believe that everybody's better than you, then most certainly you're not at the high vibe place, because you're a powerful, amazing being. Heck, you're the creator of the universe. If you don't remember that in these situations in life, then it's going to slow you down. It's going to cast you backwards. And another manifestation of this is you end up disrespecting others because you're trying to prove to the world that you are as good as you want to be. You're trying to help other people see how powerful and how amazing you are. So you end up trouncing on others, or you end up bragging about yourself because you need somebody else to give you that acknowledgement. That acknowledgement is the fuel or the food that you need in order to feel good about yourself. These are all symptoms of low self-esteem and a low vibrational state of mind. Do you still drink alcohol? If you drink alcohol, then you are going to be at a lower vibrational frequency. Alcohol is, obviously, a poison, but mostly it is a temporary relief of fear. If you have a lot of fear, you love alcohol, because what it does is during that time, you feel great. You do not feel like there's anything to worry about. If you notice, people who get drunk are not afraid to do crazy things because they've lost that fear. That's why the whole world is addicted to it. So the only reason that you would actually need alcohol is because you're still battling fear. And if you're still battling fear, there are more productive ways to do that. There's more of that self-healing that I talked about a minute ago that will actually resolve those fears instead of temporarily disguising them. So alcohol is going to always lower your vibrational frequency. If you want to be a medium or a reader or a channeler or an energy healer, then alcohol is going to slow you down. It's going to bring you down to a lower level. The highest level people who channel are bringing in the ascended masters and the angels and the Star Nation collectives. The people who are at a medium vibration are going to bring in mediumship. They're going to bring in people who have passed away on this planet rather than those high vibrational beings. So alcohol will keep you at that medium or lower level. Related to that, do you have addictions? If you are addicted to alcohol or foods or other pleasurable activities and you can't seem to gain control over yourself when those activities are presented to you, then you're not in a high vibrational place or as high as you could be. You should, in a high vibrational place, be able to say, hey, this is just another challenge. This is like any other challenge that I'm excited about. I am excited about overcoming the challenge of having to deal with this pull, this urge, this yearning for this thing that I know is not good for me. And so it's just like having an itch on your body and deciding not to scratch it. I actually right now have an itch on my knee that I really want to scratch, but I'm going to use it as a demonstration in this very moment. As an addictive person, I would absolutely have to scratch that itch. And as I think about it, it gets more and more intense, really begging me to reach down there and to scratch it. But I'm not going to, because I am proving to myself and maybe to you that I don't need to, that this is just another challenge that I can be excited about. I am excited about not scratching that itch because it's going to make me stronger. It's going to make me grow. You can look at your addiction or whatever it is that you are a slave to and decide, I don't have to do that anymore. I'm choosing not to. It won't be easy. Cigarettes, getting rid of cigarettes is not going to be easy, but I'm going to do it. And I'm going to do it in this amazing high vibrational way where most likely when I stop doing the thing, the next time I meditate or I talk to my guides, I'm going to have a clearer message. I'm going to raise my vibrational frequency just during the meditation and amazing things are going to happen. That's the way that you look at addiction or any other challenge. Do you fear Mercury retrograde? You've had negative experiences happen on Mercury retrograde. You are a spiritual being, and so you're tied into the energy of the world and the universe and the planet. And Mercury going retrograde causes you all kinds of consternation and other issues. Do you fear that? If you were at a high vibrational place, you go, come on, Mercury retrograde, give me all you got. I'm not worried. I'm not afraid. I don't have to worry about that. I am this amazing, powerful being of light, and I'm not going to allow any of that to affect me. I'm going to be more powerful than that. That is a high vibrational place. Trauma and PTSD. If you suffer from PTSD, if you suffer from any sorts of trauma and that comes up in regular everyday life, then you're not as high vibrational as you could be. Now, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with you. Of course, PTSD and trauma are real, and they're challenges, absolute huge challenges that you've had in your life. If you're still struggling with them, if you're still suffering from them, then you're not as high vibe as you could be. So this is another area of your life that you can attack with all of the gusto that you want to, and this is going to, when it's resolved, result in you being at a very high vibrational place. So it's totally worth it, even though it might seem scary and one of those challenges that you don't want to get into. Wow, when you do and when you overcome it, the world takes on a completely different feel. Do you need certain things to be happy? Do you say, hey, when I get a better job or when I make enough money or when I have this sort of house or when I have this sort of situation, then I'll finally be able to be happy and be able to have the family that I want or to have this world that I'm really excited about that I've been imagining all of my life. But I can't get there until this happens or this happens and that happens. You're not at a very high vibe place because you're pinning all of your happiness, you're pinning all of your high vibrational frequency experiences on something that is external to you. Once this world event thing finally happens, then I'll be happy. Especially if you say, once the event happens, where all the people at a lower vibration are whisked away from the planet and all the rest of us are here to have this utopian, joyful experience, then I'll finally be happy. Well, I'm sorry, you're not actually helping us get to that place. The way to help us get to that place is to say, I am completely, unbelievably, unconditionally loving everything exactly as it is, and now I am happy. I am here for a reason, and I am so overjoyed that I'm here that I don't ever want to leave. That is the high vibrational place. I don't have to get that job. I don't have to get that house. I don't have to have this romantic relationship in order to be happy. I just am. I am happy every second of every day, and the best way to do that is to focus on the moment and go, oh, breathing feels so good. The air temperature feels so good. The trees are so beautiful. The grass is so green. The snow is so pretty. Whatever it is, to love every second of every minute of every day is to be extremely high vibrational, and you don't need anything to happen outside of you. It's all right here. Everything that you need. And the last one, the one that could even get me kicked off of YouTube, is the conspiracy theories. Do you engage in conspiracy theories because, and this is very important, because you are afraid of what might happen? You're afraid of this agency or this organization or this terrible thing that is happening behind the scenes. And the more you know about it, the less fearful you might be, or the more you might be able to avoid it or circumnavigate it in some way. This is no different than watching the news. If you watch the news, or if you've sworn off the news because all it is fear-mongering, well, the conspiracy theories are just another version of the news. They're a version of the news that excites you because it's like the top secret stuff, and we all love secrets. But the problem with it is that it's no different. It is all about fear. It's all about what to be worried about, what to be scared of, what to try to avoid, what to tell others about so that they can commiserate with you, and you're blah, 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 blah. I don't care about any of that stuff. It's all happening. It's not happening. Half of it's happening. 4/3 of it's happening, which would be 1 1/3, which doesn't totally make sense. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Because the world is still going in the way that it's going. It's all a divine perfection. So you can go ahead and just love it unconditionally and not worry about the conspiracy theories. Now, if you enjoy conspiracy theories because they're interesting and they're fun, and you don't actually have a fear response to them, well, that's a different topic altogether. That can be enjoyable. It's just like any other activity that we do here on this 3D planet. As long as you're not in it because you're trying to avoid death, or you're trying to save your family from whatever certain horrible thing that's going to happen because of what this particular theory has said, then it's fine. So that's all the questions I have for you. So hopefully you kept track, and if you did, please leave a comment below and tell me, what's your score? How many of those things do you not do, especially when it comes to fear, or how many of those things do you do, like unconditionally loving yourself and others? I'd love to see how you stand and how you fare. And if you ended up with a really low score, that's exactly what I do. I help people with all of those things that I talked about in my program to help eliminate negative entity attachments and PTSD and traumas and so many other things. So you can always reach out to me and set up a call and we could talk about it. Well, hopefully you really enjoyed this. I certainly did. I want to encourage you to like and subscribe to the channel for more things like this. And I have to say, as I always do, I love you unconditionally, and I'll see you in the next video.